Hi, I hope you are fine. I am Mohsin Ishtiaq. My student ID is S440701. You can check it from my university ID card. So, the topic for my dissertation is adversarial attacks on machine learning models. So, basically, these are the attacks on machine learning models in which the attacker or the person who wants to attack changes the input data and the model does the different prediction or different output based on what type of algorithm we are dealing with. So in this video I will talk about what was my approach, how I shortlisted this topic, how I completed my first two chapters, and what will be my future planning for this dissertation. So first of all, I will talk about my approach. So, when I was thinking about dissertation, obviously everyone wants the topic in his area of interest. So, my first preference was that what is my area of interest? My area of interest was in the machine learning. My area of interest was cyber security, because inside the machine learning, because most of the people talk about cyber security from the overall perspective of computer science, but these days machine learning models are also vulnerable to cyber security attacks. So there are specific type of attacks, we call them adversarial attacks. So that was my main area of interest, and I was looking for topic in that area of interest. So when I shortlisted the topic, I discussed it with the professor, and the professor said it's okay. He asked me about my what will be my approach and how I will do this. I told him little bit, and then he approved, and I started working on this. And the first step was the literature review for like what are the existing research papers and the existing data available on this topic. So um, for like when I started digging deeper little bit and I started doing my research, I read different articles on Google Scholar. And first of all I did Google searches, and then I found out about Google Scholar that we can search about different topics, and all the research papers will be there according to that topic and all the surveys. And I read two three main topics from they are related to adversarial attacks on machine learning models. Two of them are related to computer vision, other was related to natural language processing, NLP. So when I read two three articles from Google Scholar, I feel confident we need to just blend all of our learning and all of our literature we review in our actual report and reference them. And we need to understand things. So that was my main motivation, or you can say the main way of dealing with this assignment. So, as I previously mentioned, that adversarial attacks are the attacks we perform on machine learning models. For example, we change the input of the model little bit, and then it will change the prediction, or it will change the, if it is classification model, it will change the images. It also changes the pixels on images. So there are different types of attacks, and which falls under the category of adversarial attacks. So how I will showcase these attacks, and how I will prove my viewpoint, and how I will showcase these attacks, and how to prevent this, how I will do all this. So first of all, there are publicly data available different data sets. We can perform these attacks on almost all of the publicly available data sets, and we can use the some existing machine learning libraries. For example, machine like Fullbox or Clever Hands. These are the library in which these attacks are pre-built, like they are already implemented for our learning purposes. We can simulate those attacks, and we can use the public available data set. And another problem is that we know we need big processing power. We cannot do them on our local machine. So for that we can use Google Console, on which we can use Jupyter Notebook. And we also can use any cloud platform providers and use their GPUs, CPUs, and RAM. So that is related to data collection, what data we need, and how we will process those data, and how we will simulate those attacks. I am talking about in the future. but in the current we have just write the introduction in which we give all the my roadmap and everything about like what is in my mind and what I will do. And in the literature review, where I studied other articles and I gave my viewpoint and also reference those articles and get the insights about this adversarial attacks. So what are the limitations of this? So as I previously mentioned, we need a lot of GPU, CPU, and RAM. um we limitation is that we are dependent on dataset. So if dataset is not our own, so we are dependent on dataset and we are limited real world testing. So what is the meaning of limited real world testing is mean that this field is very rapidly evolving and there are new types of attacks coming in, but only we can simulate only those attacks which are available already in those libraries. So it is real world testing is limited, and the new revolutions and their new ways of attack these models are coming rapidly in. So that is one limitation, is that we have limited real world testing. So what are the ethical consideration? Ethical consideration is that the research we are doing to understand and prevent these attacks, the people can use those research to evolve themselves, so that they can also utilize this research and evolve their methods of attacking. So this is a dual world sword. We are trying to solve this issue, and the notorious people can use this for like again using this against us. So that is a problem. And also bias simplification. Bias mean that they can add that little bit bias into the input data, and then it will change the output entirely. So there are also legal risk. Obviously this is related to little bit cyber security and machine learning attack. So there are some legal risk and already laws, so we need to follow that. So these are some ethical consideration. So after this, now I will talk about what will be my future future perspective about this. So